So 17, you go to Nashville, but between that night and going to Nashville, what did you do to set that up? Or what are the steps you took toward that dream?
I think there's a misperception a lot of times, and rightly so, of the public, even myself, of what is the protocol for trying to have a career in the music business or an entertainment business, and there's no exact way, but Nashville was and still is the hub of, if you're going to be a big time country singer, you can't bypass Nashville. It's the gatekeeper. And when I went the first time, I was 17. I'd been playing all the way up from 15 to 17. I was playing every spot that would let me play for free, for free. I just wanted to go in and sing in front of people. And I started writing songs. And I ended up liking writing songs more than I liked singing. And there was just this, I don't know, it's a wonderful comfort, if you will, to know what you were born to do, and you know that you're in that spot, the right spot, and it is a gift. The talent is a gift, but it will not propel you to where you want to get. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the time. And I had done that, and I went to Nashville and got rejected by every label in town. Nobody thought I was good enough to make it. And what did that do to me? It's kind of like chasing a girl that tells you no a lot. You just keep chasing. And finally, she's going to give you a shot, And I remember reading a quote by Willie Nelson, who didn't make it until he was like 40. And he said, if you keep knocking on the door, eventually someone's going to answer. And so I just kept honing what I was doing, my writing skills, my performance skills. And one day a producer walked into a bar I was playing in, and he was producing Clint Black, Charlie Daniels, a group called Little Tech, just Kenny Rogers. He had tons of acts. And he walked up to me and he said, I want you to come to Nashville, and I want to make a record with you. And 2 weeks later, I was in Nashville making a record.
And where was that? Where were you playing that night when he came to see you?
I was playing in this club called the Neon Armadillo in Beaumont, and there were two other country music acts, Mark Chestnut and Tracy Byrd, who had already gotten record deals, and we were competing against that club. Country music was really alive and well in Beaumont, Texas, in the late 80s and 90s. And my bass player at the time said, he said, this is before the producer walked in. My bass player at the time said, they say lightning never strikes twice in the same place. He goes, but I think it's about to strike 3 times. And it wasn't very long after that when James Stroud, the producer, the biggest producer in Nashville at that time, walked in and said what he said. He listened to me play some songs, and literally 2 weeks later, I was in Nashville and we were recording my very first album.
How long between the first visit to Nashville at 17 and this second trip to Nashville to record?
It was 5 years.
Okay.
And it was 5 years later that I'd been rejected by all the folks in Nashville that this happened, and my mom and dad begged me to go to college. And I graduated high school at 17, and I told my mom and dad that if they would just ease up and give me 4 years, let me have 4 years trying to make it in the music business. If I don't, I promise you I'll go to college. Because no one in my family, much less, not just my immediate family, but no one carrying the Walker name had ever been to college. And they wanted to see that happen. And, it didn't happen. But I in that fourth year, we started to see the traction, getting attention, and then in year 5, that was the one. Look, I went 1 year over. What can I say?
So first trip to Nashville, you're 17, you got no money, you're sleeping in your car, it doesn't work out, you're driving back to Texas. What's that drive like? What are you thinking?
Defeat, total
Okay.
defeat. I was destroyed. I mean, I won't lie to you. It was, the journey was, to Nashville. I was driving. I left Beaumont in the middle of the night. I ended up in Nacogdoches, Texas, about 2:00 in the morning, and I got pulled over for an expired inspection sticker in my car. And the police officer pulled me over, and he saw my guitar in the back of my seat there, and he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to Nashville." He said, "You been drinking?" I said, "No, sir." And he said, "I play fiddle." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I'll tell you what," he said, "I won't write you up if you'll come back to the police station and pick with me a little bit." And I said, "Okay." I didn't have any money to pay a ticket anyway, so we go back to the police station, and he gets his fiddle out. I get my guitar out. We played for about 30 minutes. And he said, "Well, good luck." And I went to Nashville. I was there 2 days, sleeping in my car. And went around to all the labels, took a little tape, into all of them. And only one of them actually said, "I think there's something here, but it's nowhere close. You're going to have to work a lot harder." And I left, and I drove back through Nacogdoches, and I stopped off at the police station, and I asked that cop to be in my band, and he joined my band.
Really?
So, that's the way music works. It really is. It really unites people, and I've got a lot of stories that music has contributed. It's been a great journey.